Everyone, it's your boy Dose back again with another video. Today we're going to be getting into my instant, not so instant match reaction from the matches yesterday. That would have been the United States versus Paraguay and Canada versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. So just starting with the late kickoff, it was the much anticipated opener for co-host United States, and it lived up to all the hype and then some. I don't think anyone expected that type of performance from the US men's national team. In my first video, I talked about the US being my dark horse going into the World Cup. I have always had really high expectations of host nations playing their first couple of games in the World Cup. I always believe that they're going to do well, especially when they have the home field advantage when playing on an international stage for your country. I believe that is so immense. And the US team coach, Mauricio Pochettino, said he's not doing any pre-game speech and said, if you're not ready, then go home. But boy, did he have those boys ready to play. The US came out of the blocks hot, looking competent and purposeful. I saw they were going to Christian Pulisic very early, number 7, and he was very direct on the left wing to start the game. So much so, 7 minutes into the game, he beat 2 defenders with a simple flip-flap in and out, passed it into Weston McKennie, whose intended pass for Balogun ricocheted off a defender, Paraguayan defender that is, before ending up in the back of the net. The US, just like Mexico on Thursday, breathed a sigh of relief after that. They had to. Having scored in the first 10 minutes of the game, that had to calm the nerves of all the players and all the fans in the stadium at the SoFi Stadium, home of the Los Angeles Rams of the NFL. Right, but after the first 10 minutes, after the first goal, that is, they kept pushing. The Americans kept pushing. They looked so confident and at ease. Pulisic kept running at defenders, forcing Cáceres into a yellow card. They had chance after chance, and then Balogun, we saw him, he was just free just inside the 18-yard box and elected to pass it. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. Could you imagine your striker passing up an unmarked shot in the middle of the 18-yard box? I was embarrassed for him because what are you doing? I want you to shoot that shot. I need you to shoot that shot. Why was he passing it? Right? But the US was so in control and passing it with ease. I thought I was watching Brazil, I'll be honest. The way Tillman flicked the ball further inside the box a couple of minutes later, it was highly entertaining, swashbuckling football. They had all the possession. I was happy to see this version of the US men's national team, very free-flowing, confident, while understanding the moment that was in front of them. It was just sheer dominance, and the hydration break provided no solace to Paraguay. The US came out of the break hot again with the same intensity and same desire. After a few chances and an offside goal by Balogun himself, Pulisic again running rampant on the wing, not even noticing any Paraguay defenders, and fires it into Balogun, who made it 2-0 after 31 minutes. It was just one-way traffic. Paraguay was just nowhere near it. It was really men against boys. I remember writing in my notes that the United States looked like they were in a flow state, like absolutely nothing could go wrong. And even when it did, it always went right in the end. They looked like they had been here 1,000 times before. Tillman had another shot, and Chris Richards, that is, the defender, almost found the bottom corner on a header. And at the other end, a Paraguay attack was intercepted by Ream, who slipped and then recovered to regain possession. Again, the US really could do no wrong. They were winning the possession battle 72 to 28% in their favor. And as if things couldn't get worse for Paraguay, on the stroke of halftime, Tillman, with some lovely vision, released Balogun, who timed his run off his last man to perfection, muscled him off, stepped inside, sending another player going the opposite direction and blasted it into the top corner. It was a really special goal by the striker, and all my doubts of him passing up another opportunity went out the window so quickly. I could not believe what I was seeing from the US. It was only halftime, and they were producing the best performance I had ever seen from a US men's national team. Utter domination from the first to the halftime whistle. And the second half, it was more of the same, quite honestly. Everyone knew the game was over after the blistering first half the US put on. Pulisic came off at the start of the second half, or to start the second half, he came off. I believe it was really because of an injury concern per se, but he has a tumultuous history with injuries. So just to protect him, the game was already won. We just needed to keep it tight, just see it through. So I respected Pochettino bringing off Pulisic. That's Captain America. They needed him. Paraguay then had a couple of chances early on, a 1v1 between Tim Ream and Miguel Almiron, resulted in the latter hitting the deck, they hitting the pitch, and Ream receiving a yellow card. And then a VAR check for mistaken identity appeared on the screen. First time I've ever seen that, but I assume the mistaken identity, I believe, was for the yellow card. And the replay confirmed that Almiron did dive, and the referee switched. He rescinded the card addressed to Tim Ream and subsequently gave Miguel Almiron his yellow card for simulation. It seemed like everything was going the US's way. And directly after that, Paraguay started giving the ball away in dangerous positions. They couldn't clear the ball if their life depended on it, and almost, in my opinion, gave away a penalty. Should have been a penalty. It should have been, in my opinion. It was embarrassing. It was absolutely, I had no idea what was going on. The US were in total control. And after the second hydration break, the US was still firmly in control and started taking off their main men. Balogun came off to rest for the next game against Australia, who I think they believe would be a more formidable and organized and as well disciplined opponent. And as they made their substitutions less than a minute later, and totally against the run of play, Paraguay score off of a free kick taken by the keeper in their own half, headed down to Julio Enciso, who laid it off for Maurizio. And he made no mistake from 15 yards out. Whilst it may have given them belief in the moment, it was just a mere consolation that marginally helped toward their goal difference in the group. And the game flew by, with the US controlling the tempo in the closing stages, and in the last minute of play, Giovanni Reina scored a sublime trivela. Like sublime. It was amazing. To cap off a 4-1 victory on the night as Paraguay were pushing for more goals. That goal gave me shades of Benjamin Pavard for France against Argentina in the 2018 Russia World Cup. It was just, c'est magnifique. Just a great goal. Just a great goal by Reina, I must say. So again, a dominant performance by the US. Fries, their keeper, barely had any work to do. Ream, Richards, and Freeman looked experienced as ever in the back. McKennie, Adams, Robinson, and Tillman all looked every bit of the top-flight European League players they are. And the attack just looked hungry all round. From the starters and even the substitutes came on. They came on with purpose and presence. It must be said, though, Balogun apparently is the first US player to score multiple goals in a World Cup game for the US since 1913, almost 100 years. Go figure. That was a great game. The earlier kickoff between Canada, the co-hosts Canada, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. That game was a bit more taxing, right? Canada looked very nervy to start their World Cup campaign in Toronto. They were the better of the two sides for the majority of the match, but the lack of quality was evident on both sides. And the confidence level, you could see, were a bit on the lower end for Canada. Jonathan David missed a big chance and had some poor touches that were inexplicable. I was like, what? Doesn't he play for Juventus, Jonathan David? I was like, what's going on? I think he plays for Juventus, if I'm not mistaken. And Bosnia, coming into the game, had played 2 playoff matches, 2 reached to the World Cup, I believe against Wales and Italy, won them both, and opened the scoring in the 17th minute. Their captain, an absolute gut punch to the Canadians. The stadium went absolutely quiet. Ryan Reynolds never seemed to lose hope, though. The corner kick came in. It was from a corner kick. The corner kick came in. Kolasinac headed it on, and there was Lukic to head it home for his first international goal at the World Cup. It thankfully woke Canada up, but they were still so wasteful in front of goal and absolutely racking up corner kicks and doing nothing with them. The lack of quality and composure was very low in open play between the two sides. Coming out of halftime, Canada was still creating chances, with Kolasinac looking like he was turning back the clock. He was playing for early Arsenal. Not early Arsenal, but was playing for Arsenal in his early days, right? Putting on a man-of-the-match performance. I was quite proud because I know he was basically exiled from that Arsenal team. I'm not too sure how he's doing well now for his club, for his current club, but he was basically exiled from Arsenal. But yesterday he was playing outstanding. He was playing outstanding. Canada looks certain to score, and he cleared it off the line onto the post and out. I was like, well, he's just having an out-of-body experience. I've never seen him play this way. His experience was on display time and time again. Obviously, until the 78th minute, when Canada's substitute Ladin received the ball at the top of the box, being played onside by Kolasinac. He played him onside. He took a touch and banged it into the net, taking a slight deflection off a Bosnia player. It was pandemonium in the Toronto Stadium. They were going crazy. The game ended 1-1, which many, including myself, would have to say is a fair result given the lack of quality from both sides in the final third. It also must be mentioned that both Alphonso Davies and Edin Dzeko for Bosnia and Herzegovina did not play. The former due to an injury, but the latter, I believe, due to age. It has to be, he's 40 years old. Edin Dzeko is 40 years old. He can't be starting no matches. But he didn't even come on, which I found was so strange. But those were the games yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed that US match. I was very proud of them. I've never seen them play like that. I hope they continue that form. I understand it was just against Paraguay, but I still believe they have it in them to continue pushing forward and to even get better throughout the tournament. Canada, I don't have so much faith in, but I'm hoping they could turn it around. They got those early jitters out, and maybe they can take a step toward better play, a higher quality of play. So looking at the matches today, I'm probably not going to go too in depth on the Qatar-Switzerland game. Don't know if I might watch that. Reason being, we got 6 p.m. in New York. Probably the biggest game so far. Excuse me. Really looking forward to that Brazil game. I think they'll go really far. I think Morocco have a chance to go really far. So might be a great attack versus a great defense. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Haiti play and Scotland. Right? That should be a good. Scotland probably is a bit better than Haiti, but a bit more level of a game. And then at 12 a.m. local time, we have Australia versus Turkey, which should be a good game. Australia and Turkey are in the same group with the US. So I believe the US will come first. This match will probably be a vying for second place, but we'll see. I think it'll be a good game. Turkey should take it, but I think it'll be a good game. So again, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys tonight for our match reaction. Peace.